For this lesson, you will be learning about what life was like in ancient Rome. This virtual field trip will take you to some of the most famous structures in ancient Rome. First, we will visit the Colosseum, which is one of the most famous Roman amphitheaters and is the largest Roman structure left standing today. So let's take a look here at the Colosseum. Let's kind of go over and we'll get a bird's eye view of that so you can see how large it is. So this is what is left standing today. And like I said, it's the largest standing building in Rome at this time. So why don't we take our ruler? We're going to measure the inside part of this amphitheater here in yards, 140 yards across. So that may look familiar to you. My question to you is, what structure does this look like? Does this look familiar like any other structures that you know of? Food for thought. Cancel that out. Now let's look into a picture that's a panoramic photo of this taken recently so we can kind of get the details of that. So we'll just jump right in here to a panoramic so we can get a better idea of what the details look like here with the structure. So as you can see, there's quite a bit left in the structure here. It's in pretty good shape. Let's go around and we'll get the full view. There we go, there's a good view of the Colosseum. So based on what you see here, how do you think the Colosseum is still standing after all of these years? And what factors do you believe caused the damage? So the Colosseum was used for sports in ancient Rome, for entertainment, and the popular activity that was done here was gladiator fights. So we're going to learn a bit more about gladiator fights today. And I have a video that I want you to watch, and I want you to be paying attention carefully because I'm going to ask you questions afterwards. And this video is going to talk a bit about the gladiator fights. So it's really interesting. So after watching this video, I want you to take out your notebooks and write down the answers to these questions. How are the gladiators chosen? How does a gladiator win? What role did politics play with gladiator fights? Now I'm going to give you a long strip of paper where you will record everything that you've learned about the Colosseum structure and gladiator fights. On the other side of the paper, I want you to illustrate what the exterior of the Colosseum looks like. Then when you're through, we're going to fold it up and staple it together, and we'll have our 3D Colosseum with all the new information that you've learned. So the next place that we're going to visit is the Roman Forum. So we're just going to jump over there. This will take us right into the view here. So as you can see, there's not a lot left of the Roman Forum. However, there are many structures surrounding the Roman Forum that are still standing today. And the Roman Forum was the main forum in Rome. Many Romans lived in large cities, and at the heart of each city was a forum. So this is kind of where they hung out every day. And all of the important structures surrounding the forum. Let's just kind of zoom out here. They all had an important role to play. And this is where there was a market, and it was a public meeting place where they sold food, they had meetings, they produced entertainment, all kinds of different things. Now, a lot of these buildings, I want you to find out more about them. So, there should be some Wikipedia icons, which of course are completely hidden to my view right now. But I want you to click on those icons so that you can find out more about the surrounding buildings around the forum. Here's one. So I'll let you guys explore a little bit with that. They look like this guy over here, and there should be a lot more, but for some reason I'm only finding a couple. So there's one, and those will have different information about the surrounding structures. Now, living was a lot different depending on whether you were rich or poor during this time. The Romans spent their time either working or in leisure activities. So this location was an everyday scene in the life of the Romans. So I want you to research how the rich and the poor lived in ancient Rome. Their homes, their work, their food, and their clothing. Then I will have you create a script based on your research and present it to the class in a dramatic representation to show the differences between the life of the rich and the poor. So what are some of the structures that you found that surrounded the Roman Forum? Describe in detail at least 2 structures that you researched on Wikipedia. What activities took place in the Roman Forum? And what was life like for the rich and the poor? So we've only been able to look at the remains so far of the Forum. But here's an artist portrayal of life in ancient Rome. So here they are going about their daily lives, and I'm sure there's some rich and some poor there, so this kind of gives you a better picture of what it was like. So the next place we're going to visit is Circus Maximus. And I have a photo of that here because there's not much remaining of Circus Maximus either. Let's cancel that out real quick. This just kind of shows you the plot of land. Where it was. So let's pull up that photo again. So there's a good photo of Circus Maximus. Not a photo, a replica of what it looked like. And Circus Maximus was another form of entertainment for the Romans. Circus means long race track. And it was the most famous of the, the Circus Maximus was the most famous Roman circus. So we're going to watch a video of Circus Maximus portraying what it was like. This is actually a video clip from the movie Ben-Hur. So sorry, it's not from Circus Maximus, but it shows what chariot races were like. So you can kind of get a realistic image of that. So after viewing that, were the chariots races dangerous? Why or why not? How do chariot races compare with some of our modern day sports? What are the similarities and differences? Now we saw the before and after photos of Circus Maximus, and you can see afterwards here what the remains look like. So what do you think happened to the structure of Circus Maximus? Describe what it looked like before it was destroyed. Recall the photo that we looked at. And for our activity, we're going to create our own chariot races using water bottles and a balloon. And we're going to get together with small groups and have races. And that concludes our tour.